What do you do if you are a writer like me? And in order to get in the flow state, you often start from being upset, being sad, being angry. And through that process, you're able to get into the flow state. What do you do? So I have a mastermind client who is a genius writer. She's absolutely a genius. And I believe each of us is a genius. I believe we have this inner self that's just flowing, absolute magic if we can access that flow. Okay, so she says, Erin, I had a situation where I had an encounter with somebody. I lowered my vibration. It was horrible. I didn't like it. And through that, I had the most wonderful, amazing, magical flow writing session. Okay. So what's going on? Is this bad? Is it bad that I access my flow through this? Is my microphone on? Oh, well, we'll see. Is it bad if I access my flow through like having my vibration lowered by other people? Okay. So this is what came through. You guys have got to hear this. It's so critical because first of all, this is how our persona, our ego works. It tells us these lies. When we are accessing the flow state, it'll be like, oh, hello. Hi, hello. Don't do that. That's uncomfortable. I don't like that. You are being big and brave and shiny and fabulous. And I would really like it if you could shrink back down to a comfortable level that doesn't feel to me like you might encounter any resistance out there in the world because I just don't like all this magic. You're freaking me out right now. Come back down. And then you're like, oh, well, okay, maybe that was a little bit too big, a little bit too bold. Maybe I was a little bit too much me. Maybe I should be a little bit more like everybody else. This is all really normal. This is what's actually going on though. Okay. When we encounter people that are at a lower vibration than us, our vibration is going to dip a little bit. This is normal. And their vibration is going to come up a little bit. Whenever two vibrations meet, there's a little bit of interplay. This isn't something undesirable, actually. You use it to be of service to the world. It's part of your mission not to cut yourself off from the rest of the world, but to be of service. And so when we encounter someone that makes us feel something that we don't like, how can we put our creative flow to work? For me, it's writing. For this client of mine, it's writing. But for you, it might be painting. It might be taking pictures. It might be anything, right? There's a zillion ways that people flow in creativity, okay? So what I want you to do is feel the horrible feeling, the feeling of, I don't like this feeling at all. Feel it. What does it feel like? And then dive into your creative outlet. For me, again, writing. Start writing. I don't like this feeling. This happened and it feels horrible. This is how it feels. I don't like it. And then as you do that, trust the words that want to come out of you. What happens for me is my inner self, my inner I am, my inner God starts writing. And I just let that all come out. And the thing is, that inner version of me that is oneness, that is the true flow state, leads me back up in vibration. If you know how to get yourself into the flow state, you have all the tools you'll ever need to raise your vibration. And here's the thing, if you then share that with the world, share the thing that you created, as you led yourself from a lower vibration of this feels horrible back into remembering who you really are and how powerful you really are, if you can do that, my goodness, then you become, and you share it, right? You tell other people this is what happened. Here's my creation. I created this. They're going to be magnetized to you. They're going to be like, oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. I feel this so deeply. I feel it so deeply. I feel it so deeply. You guys, it's not about being perfect. If you're perfect already, if you know how to keep your vibration 100% high vibe, 100% of the time, you are of service to no other human on the planet because no other human on the planet is doing that. You are of service to the collective when you are real and authentic, when you are who you truly are. You don't try to hide it. You don't try to be like, well, I'm I'm all of this. Because what happens is the anxiety kicks in. I'm not good enough. I'm not actually all of this I want to be, but I'm not. Call in what you want. And as you do that, be who you really are right now. Don't run from your greatness. You, like I said at the beginning, like, you're a genius. You are a creative genius, or you would not be here on earth. There are only creative geniuses that are allowed to incarnate and on earth as humans. And I don't care what sort of disability they are incarnated with, they are still a creative genius. 100% of the time. I don't care what sort of traumas they've experienced. They are still a creative genius. They can still access the flow state. I also don't care what sort of binds, soul contracts, what sort of past lives they've led, what they have done in their past that they're deeply ashamed of. They can still access the flow state. They can still access their inner genius, because you guys, we are all God, every single one of us. And there's nothing that cannot be forgiven. There's nothing that cannot be overcome. Now we're getting into another fabulous, I have the best clients. My clients trust themselves so deeply, but also reach out for help and for guidance on their path, because they know they're not meant to do it all on their own. They understand that there's this deep interplay. So I have another amazing client who he's an incredible, strong creator, but he did something in his past that he really felt like blocked him from being allowed to access to access the genius within him, his inner voice, his inner guidance system, right? He felt like he was no longer worthy of it because one thing he said many, many years ago. And you wouldn't believe how many clients, how many powerful, badass, incredible clients I have worked with that feel this way, that feel like they were overwhelmed by the voice of God in their head. They didn't really understand what was going on. For some of them, not this client, but for others, they felt like they may have been crazy. They felt like this was not a good thing. And so they asked it to go away. They asked that voice to go away, and they have spent every day since regretting it and wishing they hadn't done it. You guys, there's nothing that's not forgivable. You get to ask for the voice to come back. That voice does not love you. You are that voice. That's who you really are. And once you choose that, and once you choose that you're worthy of it right now, despite anything that's happened in this life or in any other life, it comes back. It comes back. The question is, what are you worthy of right now? Don't let that doubting voice of your persona, your ego, tell you that you're not good enough, that you shouldn't access that voice. Because it will. That's its job, is to like tell you all the time you're not good enough and you shouldn't access that voice and you shouldn't be bright and shiny and wonderful, that you should shrink down to fit in. Do not listen. Do not listen. Do not listen. Do not listen. And I have done this so many times. I've listened and shrunk down to fit in. And it's not worth it. There's nothing good that comes of that. And I always have to eventually pick myself back up and remind myself, you know what? No, that's not the path. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't. What feels good is trusting what's inside of you. Even if everything else in the world says that you shouldn't do that, trust it anyway. And that's where all the magic in my life has come from. And my life keeps getting more and more magical. Like, you can have an amazing lit up life. You get to choose this for yourself, but you also have to choose that magic within. You got to take it out. You got to see it yourself. You got to bring it forward first for you, and then you share it. Then you share it. Then you share it. So I have a free masterclass Saturday morning, and it's called The Visionary. The Visionary is all about how I went from completely terrified for 8, 9 years to share my book with the world. And how did I flip that? And within 3 months, I had it published. I'll tell you how. It's because I created a vision so strong that no fear could block it. And this is actually a thing that you can do. You can make your vision bigger than your fear. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. It's going to be a very deeply channeled masterclass that tells you exactly how to do this. I don't want you to miss it. I want you to join me. I'll put the link below. It's going to be live on Zoom. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful weekend. Goodbye.